Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Boom in your face. Hello and welcome to Boom in Your Face, a platform for indie artists and musicians to come and share their new music or projects, as well as discuss topics about the music industry and the community at large. Boom in Your Face has two meanings. One is that boom in your face from the music that you're listening to. But the other boom in your face is when someone assumes the situation is one way and boom in your face is totally wrong and something totally different. So on occasion, we discuss those boom in your face moments, so watch out that someone might be you. Listeners, if you'd like to share your boom in your face music or projects, or share your boom in your face moments, or just want to join us in the conversation, reach out and email me at boominyourface616@gmail.com or visit the website and sign up for the newsletter, like, subscribe, and share the episodes. I'm your host, Mary Kearney. Welcome.
Mary, can you hear me, girl?
I hear you now. You know this.
Why are they trying to keep Black people apart? What
I don't know what is going on.
This is a conspiracy.
Exactly. They just knew that these two minds didn't need to talk and be on point. Well, welcome to Boom in Your Face podcast. We have a delightful guest today that's just full of energy and life. And we're just going to talk today about what's been going on in his process and journey throughout life and what is next in his journey, that he can inspire others that may be wanting to change up a certain path that they have pursued all their life and they want to switch lanes or however they might want to move forward. So go on and introduce yourself, Gerard.
Hello out there. So first of all, thank you, Mary. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be on the Boom in Your Face podcast. I still love the name. I never get tired of saying it. My name is Gerard Legagneur. I am a corporate attorney. Now, don't fall asleep. I'm a corporate attorney. I do not go to court. I don't know anything about all that stuff. So all that stuff you see on TV, unless you've seen a show like Suits that actually kind of does talk about what I do, but I do mergers, acquisitions, contracts, and things like that. I wouldn't even know what to say to a judge. I'd be like, Your Honor, I got a motion for this. I got a motion for that.
Being modest.
Yeah, but I've been a lawyer for about 22 years now. Wow, time really flies. But on top of that, I am an avid podcaster. I had the pleasure of meeting you when we met at Podfest, and you were a guest on my podcast, which is the Florida Fresh Mix podcast, and I gotta say you were one of my favorite guests ever, and your guests already know why. I mean, the personality, the brilliance, the knowledge, the energy. I mean, so when you asked me to be on your podcast, I was like, how can I say no to the queen?
All right now. See, I'm about to keep bringing you back. Some supreme marketing going on right there. I didn't pay him to say that, people. I did not pay him to say that. This is all authentic.
Exactly.
So now how did you, from being a corporate attorney, how did you bridge it and get into podcasting?
So my sister, Gerard Legagneur, is she's like a podcast guru. She's been in the game for, if you had to ask me, I don't know how many years, but if it's got to be, if it's not 10 years yet, it's got to be close to that. Because I think this might have been like her 7th Podfest or whatever, or 6th or 7th. And so she's been talking to me about podcasting for a long time, and she put me on before if it weren't for her, I wouldn't even know. I had heard a podcast, but I didn't really understand it. It's like radio, but like a little different, but hey, it's true, right?
Exactly.
But it's just so much better. Like it's just it's a medium that were it not for her, I would have not known. And now she's a podcast producer. She produces like over 50 podcasts with her network, the Florida Podcast Network. Now the thing is that with her podcast, they all have to be Florida related, and she's got like all these people like reaching out to her saying, hey, can I be a guest on one of your podcasts? And she's like, okay, if I could fit you here, fit you there. Like she has a beer podcast and a tech podcast and a podcast about all different kinds of things. So then she'll do that. But then there end up being like these misfit toys that don't really fit on any particular podcast of hers. And she's like, look, I'm just going to create a show that's about all these Florida people doing interesting, inspiring things. And you're my brother. You want to get into podcasting? Would you like to be the host? And I was like, hell yeah, because
Well, you
I was
definitely have the personality.
well. Look, it was very coincidental because I was really about to start my own podcast with my parents,
Okay.
but it involves me interviewing them in person. And so I was
Okay.
literally about to go up there and do my first interview of them, and then COVID hit. So
Yeah.
that was, we had to put that off indefinitely because I couldn't even be in the same room as my parents. And
Hmm.
the podcast I want to do with them involves us having to be physically together.
Okay.
Um, but you know what? I think it actually, the word I was looking for was serendipitous, because
Hmm.
it all worked out for the best, I think, because that podcast I'm still going to do, but now I've gotten this a lot of practice with my
Right.
own
Experience
podcast.
now. Hmm.
Exactly. And I think we're like up to almost episode 60.
Okay.
And I'm
That's
loving
a
it.
lot of
I'm
work.
loving it, girl.
Okay. So how your parents are into it, or what? How did they feel when you presented that to them?
Oh, well, my podcast idea, they love the idea.
Okay.
They're a little bit nervous about it because it does involve, they're Haitians from the Caribbean, and
Okay.
they're a little bit old school, but they're also mad cool. Like
Okay.
they've come along, they've got some really, conservative views, but they're also like my friends. So like we can talk about anything. So my podcast involves making them feel uncomfortable with certain things. And I don't
Okay.
want to give away too much, but they were
Right.
down with it because they love me and whatever.
Hmm.
And I also thought it would be a fun way to get them on record, as they're getting older, and
Yes.
it would get them to talk about, how they grew up and different things like that. And so, and I will say, you'll get this. All I'm going to say to you is that it is a music based podcast. That's all I'm going to give up.
Okay.
I know you'll appreciate that, girl.
Of course, I love
So.
anything that's connected to music because that's what binds us all together.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
you and I talked about that extensively
Yes, exactly.
during our interview. But no, but it's, I think, like I said, I think it worked out even a little bit better because now I've gotten a little bit of experience under my belt. Still working on it. You can always improve. But
Hmm.
I think that podcast is going to end up being even better when I finally get down to doing it.
Well, let's go on. I'm ready to hear it right now. So you done gave a good plug for it and everything, and everybody's going to be waiting to hear about your parents' love story. How long have they been together?
Oh, okay. So coincidentally, I was just up there. So I live in South Beach, Florida. They
Okay.
live in Delray, and my sister lives in Boynton Beach.
Okay.
Um, and I was just up there this past weekend for my parents. They call it their golden anniversary because they've been together for 50 years. They haven't been
Wow.
married for 50 years, but they've been
Mm.
together since they were 15 years old.
Wow. Okay.
So,
I
actually,
mean,
no,
that's
that's
the
not
whole
true.
life.
They've actually been no, they've actually been married for 50 years. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just did the math real quick in my head. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They've been together since they're 15 years old. That's true, but they've been
Hmm.
married for 50 years. So I just went up for their golden anniversary, and I also went up to see my nephew Jemmy's son. He's
Oh, he's
he's
so
Jordan. He's only
charismatic.
10. Yeah, he's amazing. He was in this play.
Hmm.
So it was a twofer. So I went up there
Hmm.
for both of those events. And it was fantastic. So yeah, they're deeply in love. It's very gross. And
But something to aspire for.
that old love, that old school
Hmm.
old love,
Yes. It's nothing
especially
like it.
that old black love.
That's right. But that's
So
special because I can relate to the Caribbean parents because my father's from St. Vincent. So I got that Caribbean and conservative. I get it that spot on because that's just the culture.
mhm.
But the fact that they've lived a life and they've moved and migrated from a whole nother country, not knowing what to expect, and then had children, raised them, and really, soared. So it's what you're talking about is going to be great to hear. It's going to be internationally connected.
Nah, it's really inspiring because like,
Hmm.
I always tell them, like, people are like, Gerard, why aren't you married? I'm like, look at the way I was raised. Marriage is like, I
Right,
hold it in the highest esteem because of the
which
way I
it
was
is.
raised. So I'm not
Hmm.
going to do it unless it's 100% right. Like it's got to be true love, like what I was raised around. And And it's as simple as that. I don't want to do it just because people say to do it, or I feel pressured, or I'm getting too old, or whatever. I'm going to do it because it's right. I'm going to do it. I always say, if it ain't like that, I don't want any part of it. And by like that, if it ain't like the way my parents are with each other to this day, I don't want any part of it.
Well, I'm going to give you some insight on that topic, because I haven't hit the golden, but I did hit the 30. So I'm 31 years in. Thank you.
Okay.
And what I'm going to say to you with knowing that is that it's not going to be perfect, but when you find that person, it's not going to be deniable that that's the next step that you want to take. And you're just going to know it from that, because it's just going to be something that is out of your control, because it is beyond and it's outside of what we have in the flesh. It's more of a spiritual connection. So trust and believe when I tell you that. That's how it happens, because I was nowhere in the market for marriage when I got married, but it was unstoppable, like I'm telling you. And then it was a romance of less than 6 months. We was married, and now 31 years later, we're still together. So that's just how it happens.
I just look. I believe everything you say. Look, you drop knowledge all the time, and at the end of the day, I think that marriage is something that you feel it in your gut. I don't think it's something that should be due to outside pressure. Like, oh, if it doesn't work out, you can just get divorced. Like, I don't want to go into something like that.
Right? You don't go in planning on the exit.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Nah. I agree with you 100%. We're on the same page.
Yes. So I can't wait to that invitation when it comes down the road. If you need me to officiate it for you as well, I'll do that for you too.
Oh, okay. My sister's done that too. All right. All right, cool.
Oh, your sister's gonna want first dibs on that.
Well, we'll see if I
if
let
she's not in the party. Look, if she's not in the wedding party.
Thing is, I don't know. See, my sister and I, we're also like best friends. It was a typical, like, she's 3 years younger than I am. And we grew up like, typical, like, older brother, younger sister type of thing, where we like despised each other when we were young. But now she's like one of my best friends. Like, and like, I just don't trust her to officiate my wedding and not have some kind of side eye or make some kind of joke, because she's gonna just mess with me.
Right.
I trust you. I trust you more than my sister Mary.
Okay, I'll take it. And sis, don't be mad at me. That means I'm coming into the family. That's all that means.
She can hear this too. I don't care.
Right. Oh wow, that's gonna be a good family affair. Now, as an attorney, how do you change hat, going from looking at briefs all day to turning on the mic and start just talking about random things?
Well, just to be clear, so like, because I don't do any litigation, so I don't look at any briefs. Once in a while, like if I have a client that, they're like, oh, Gerard, I just got this document. Apparently I'm getting sued, or I want to sue somebody or something like that. Then I have to look at a, legal document like that. That's, filed in court. It does happen once in a while. But I'm looking at a lot of contracts, and it takes a lot of brain work, et cetera. And that's fine. I'm up to the task. It's all good. But I can switch it on and off pretty quick. I mean, I don't know if you know this, but when I was young, I was like a little child actor. I did a ton of, between the ages of, maybe, if I had to guess, maybe like 6 and 8, I did like a ton of television commercials. So
really?
I had like an agent, Jan Thompson in Charlotte, North Carolina. I was at the Jan Thompson. I still have my headshot when I was a kid. I did like commercials for like Levi's, Wrangler jeans, museums, all kinds of stuff.
Really in the business?
Oh yeah. I mean, I was making good money, and guess who got to keep that money? Not me. all that
right
money.
now we got a lot of child actors that say the same thing. Like I was.
I'm not saying it like this is not a Jason Bateman or Ricky Schroeder comment. I'm saying like, or Britney Spears, I should say, like, the parents take all the money. No, it's because my parents did the right thing. They gave me a little something, which I thought was like the most money in the world to get like the toy I wanted, but then they kept most of it. And that's how I put myself through private school. And that's why I ended up where I am now, because they made the right decisions with my money. It was a win-win.
Right. Well, your Caribbean parents are not going to be frivolous with money. That's the first thing. They're going to have a strategic plan in place for your future to be in check and happy, right? That's exactly why you're doing corporate law now.
And for the record, they didn't push me to do that or force me to do that.
Mhm.
For as long as I can remember, I always wanted to be on stage in front of people. Anytime I could perform, dance, sing, act, anything, and they were just like, okay, we'll support that. And that's how that happened. So it's always been like that.
Well, that's why you have that outgoing personality. I mean, you're meant to be on the stage and in front of the camera. So you already have the experience. You're talking about getting another podcast show. Is it going to be video or is this going to be audio?
I haven't decided yet. That's a good question. I think it will have to be audio because I think my mom would be too nervous about getting herself prepped up before any kind of video session. I think it'll be easy. She's nervous about it as it is. I think it'll be easier if I let her know it's all audio.
And then as it goes down the line, as your mother feels more comfortable, she might want you to start switching the camera to release the video.
See, that's why I talk to you, because you see, as my mom gets into it, and then I really think that this podcast is going to blow up. And once she realizes that she's a little famous, she's gonna be like, okay, you can release those. I know my mom. Like, it's all right.
That's right. Go ahead and let me be out there. Now, listen, all you have to do is make sure you get the glam squad for mom too, you know?
Yeah, no, I hear you.
That's what you do. Bring a glam squad in and say, Mom, you got a recording day and send, bring somebody in and do her hair, makeup and stuff. She'll be into it.
Exactly. All right.
And she would love her family in Haiti to see her.
No doubt.
All right. So now we got you in law, we got you in podcasting. Do you think there's something that you would do full time and give up doing law?
Anything? Well, you think I'm joking? Listen, I'm gonna be very. Can we have a little bit of real talk right here, Mary?
I hope yes. This is real talk. Go ahead.
And I might be talking against myself, like against any of my clients who might hear this or anybody else, but it's just true because there's no lying to me, Mary. I can't do anything but be honest.
That's the best thing to be.
I mean, if it were up to me, I would quit law. I would have quit a couple of years ago completely.
Right.
It's okay. And the number one reason for that is because, I'm a complete nerd. I love to learn every day.
Okay.
And I feel like I've started plateauing at what I do a long time ago. I mean, I'm about damn near as good as a person could be at what I do. And it's like, I'm not saying that I'm not challenged because, my clients do bring me new situations all the time and whatnot, but it's like, I would rather, like podcasting, I'm learning something new every day. I'm meeting new people every day. I'm soaking up more knowledge on a daily basis than I do at my job. And but this job's it's hard to get rid of because it does pay those bills. I gotta tell you.
I understand, but do you know what? That is everybody's plight, right? To decide on, am I going to go with what excites me and I'm passionate about, or I'm gonna go with what is sensible and pays my bills? People struggle with that all the time, and some people are so blessed that they're able to do both. They're able to make what they're passionate about be a significant income so that's what they're surviving on. So I pray that for you. I pray that for you, that when you decide to walk out on that faith and passion that you have, and it's not about leaving behind a career that you've worked so hard for, but it's about inspiring yourself into a new space in your life.
Well, I'm going to hold you to that because when my dream job, I'm going to blow you away. You ready?
Okay.
My dream job, and I think it's the number one regret of my life is that I didn't, let me back up a little bit. The number one advice that I give on my podcast or to mentoring any of these young kids coming up or anything is I say, look, find what you're passionate about. And we've got the technology, we've got social media, we've got everything to just figure out how to monetize that passion that you're good at. No, you got to be passionate about it and you got to be good at it. You can't be passionate about something and not be good at it. Right?
You better work on it. That's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Hone your skills. Skills.
And I wish that someone had told me that a long time ago, because had they done that, I would be a very famous DJ right now. That's what
really.
Yep. I mean, I was collected. There's nobody on earth I know more than has a better collection of 90s R&B, reggae, dance hall reggae. I'm talking about. People don't even play dance hall anymore.
I don't know hip hop,
old school hip hop. Oh, you're from the islands, you know what's up.
That's right.
So like I don't know anybody who's got a better music collection from the 90s than I do. And I would just love to just jam out for people. And you know what? There's still time. There's still time,
because you know what? When I do my next live showcase, I'm gonna have you DJ.
Well, I don't know how to DJ yet. That's the problem.
You don't know how to DJ?
No, I need to know. I need to learn.
You gotta start. You're going to buy you a little DJ thing and start playing it.
That's exactly right. I just haven't gotten.
So this weekend, that's your shopping list. Get you a little starter DJ set and start practicing.
But I need a mentor, Mary.
Hey, I will mentor you the whole time.
Oh, so I ask you what to get, and you'll tell me exactly what to get.
Absolutely, yes.
See, we're making futures on this podcast right
now. That's right. Listen, that's what it's about. Boom in your face. Let's get it and go on to something great.
Yeah, then I'll be booming your living room with those beats.
Exactly. Yes, I will help you all the way.
I saw a video today of some guy put Busta Rhymes over a beat of Mint Condition. Do you remember Mint Condition?
Of
they
course.
had like a man, and it was so Mint Condition. That soul song. You remember that song? I can't sing it all, but like Breaking My Heart. Remember that? And then they put Busta Rhymes over it, and I'm like, and Busta Rhymes is rhyming super fast, whatever. And it was so beautifully put together. I'm like, man, I need to do this. I need to learn how to do this. Like, it's just so beautiful. And you and I have talked about how music brings people together, and it's just so creative. So anyway, plus I want to show these little cats how it's done.
Okay. Now, you know, while we're talking about that, seriously, it was a guest on one of my podcasts that's now a professor out in California. He DJs and he's a professor, but he went to a DJ school that was started in New York, he was telling me.
Oh, wow.
And don't get me to stretching the truth now, but I don't remember who he said exactly was the one that started it, but it exists.
Okay.
So it's out there.
All right.
It's
well,
out
I'm
there.
gonna have to look that up. You're gonna have to send me the. I want
to
hear that
link
whole
to the
episode.
show. I'm gonna send you. You're right. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. I'll use any excuse to listen to one of your shows. That's no problem.
Okay. Yeah, but that's exciting. But no, I want you to send me one of those playlists that you have from the 90s. I know you have some awesome playlists.
Girl, I that playlist would be like, it would be the size of the Bible.
Oh, that's okay. I don't mind. I got that on my phone too, so don't worry. I have the Bible in your playlist on my phone. How about that?
Okay, so from the 90s. Okay, so who's the best? Okay, first question.
Okay.
Did you prefer R&B or hip hop or rap?
R&B.
Okay. And who is your give me like first R&B artist? Oh, okay. All right. Can't really mess with that, can you?
I know.
Yeah,
she's just a classic.
Now, my question is, does she actually exist? Because I don't know if she actually exists. I think she might be just a figment of everyone's imagination. She's like a sprite she's like an AI that lives in the woods.
Right.
Because she's never out and about, you know.
She keeps her life private. She does.
Yep.
And I
commend her for that. You gotta give it to her for that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that was a good pick. I can't beat that. You went for the goat. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
I went for the goat. Now let me think about who else is a good, but then I also like house music.
Oh yes, so do I. Because see that house music. I'm so glad you said that, because I feel like whether you're from New York, right? So like,
correct.
There's a certain type of music that only people from New York. I don't know why it's like this. Only people from New York and Miami get it. Like, we had this music back in the day called freestyle. They only played it in two places, New York and Miami. And then
nobody else wanted to listen.
Yeah, exactly. New York and Miami. I was all about Lisa, and all that other stuff.
And Cult Jam.
Oh yeah, and only New Yorkers and Floridians, or Miamians, I should say, get it. But man, we could take about you and I. We can have a sidebar and talk about music all day.
That's right. Exactly. So that's awesome. So I really want to see you pursue it, and I want to help you with that, because that'd be awesome. And then, like I said, when I do a live showcase, we're going to have you ready, and you can be the DJ. So that's how you're going to get your experience.
That sounds good to me. I just got to get myself ready, because I don't like to get up there and play myself. So I gotta, but one thing I've learned about myself, Mary, and I'm not saying this to, brag about myself or whatever, but anything I put my mind to, I excel at. I just got to put my mind to it. And also kind of, you got to know your limitations at the same time, right? Like I know the things that I'm not good at. And so I'm like, I don't even go there. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never be like, would I love to be an amazing R&B singer? Yeah, heck yeah, I would love that. Just not possible. I don't have, God didn't give me those
we got
tools.
AI, we got auto-tune, we got all a lot of things to work with you now. You just hold the mic and play it on. Like, okay, so since we're talking 90s, remember Vanilla and Lily?
Oh, of course. Milli Vanilli,
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. Sad ending for one of them, but hey.
Yeah. But they made it to they made it to fame, right?
Yeah. Look, I think my rap skills are on point, so I can deal with that side.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you don't even know. I was in a little rap group when I was in college. Yeah.
Oh, you dabbled in everything, huh? The traditional Caribbean. You done dabbled in everything, man.
Yeah, I was in this group. It was just me and my boy Jason, and we were in this group called the Two Timers, TWO, and then Timers, TYMAS. And my rap name was Casanova, KASSANOVA, getting faded off that Alizé. I'm eating tricks of all types of flavors, so they call me Silly Rabbit. OJ on that when I stab it.
Uh-oh.
I said, because I didn't want this to go X-rated.
But yes, I'm glad you kept it clean. But that's awesome. Yeah, so maybe we're going to do a DJ and a rap comeback.
We'll see what happens. Well,
you know what's exciting about what you're saying that you're interested in doing and what you actually do every day is that a lot of the people that you're doing contracts for do need to hire a DJ.
That's true.
And they could potentially be the guest on your show too for your podcast and all of those type of things.
That's true. And you know what makes me sad, Mary, is that there are, and maybe this is changing a bit these days, but there are, especially, if they get linked up with someone like you who actually cares about them, but there's so many people so many artists that are just getting taken advantage of.
I know.
And they don't even know it's in the contract. They don't, and it's all that fine print that's my job to read, and you know what to look for and where. Oh yeah.
You go straight to it.
Yo, exactly. And, so that's why they need people like you who actually has their back and knows the business to look out for their best interest. Because once you put, you get excited about putting that ink on the dotted line and, or I guess these days, e-signing, whatever. And but because you want that first advance or paycheck, whatever, and you don't realize how much it's going to affect the rest of your life. Like,
exactly.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Exactly how it's going to affect that dollar.
So,
well, that's why they coming to you, paying you the big bucks to find all where the bones are hidden.
Exactly. Look, and I can speed read, so I can read those contracts pretty quick.
Oh, I know you can. I have no doubt that you go through there with a laser eye and go right to it. It's like a red eyesore when you hit, okay, no, this is not going to fly.
Exactly.
They tried it, but not here.
Exactly. And when you've read so many contracts in your life, I mean, I'm talking like thousands and thousands and thousands. You know what it's supposed to say if it's fair, and what it's supposed to say if it's not fair.
Correct.
And it's just like second nature. So anyway, well, enough about my boring legal life.
Well, it's interesting actually, because that's a skill and a gift to be able to be precise and be able to protect people like that. That's a blessing because you're protecting people. That's what you're doing. That's your job.
Well, what I really love is taking someone that really doesn't, I represent, a lot of entrepreneurs. And so they have an idea. They're very business minded. They're talented, but only conceptually. And I love being able to take complex legal concepts and just explain it to them in plain speak. Particularly, like I represent a lot of persons of color, which I love to do, and help them on the come up and just like break it down. Like, okay, so you see this paragraph that you told me you don't understand anything about what it means. Here's what it says. It's like really
foreign language.
It's really pretty simple. It's like what it's really saying. I'm not saying that like they're not intelligent.
Right,
it's just that, like, it's all gobbledygook. It's just like all legalese gobbledygook. And like that's all they're saying is that if you sell your business, then people that are the minority shareholders get to sell too. It's that simple. Like there's nothing else. All those other words are extraneous. Like, and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm cool with that. And it's like that part of it I love. Particularly, I used to represent like huge like private equity firms and like these massive deals. I think the largest deal I ever did was, or ever closed was like $1 billion deal.
Wow.
And that was a long time ago when I was working in Stockholm. And but now I actually prefer, now that I work for myself, I prefer the smaller deals that like mean more personally, because like the people that I work with, they're either my friends and then they become my clients, or they're my clients and then they become my friends. So it's all very personal to me.
Right. I mean, if they come into your aura, that's automatically going to be that, because you have such a warm, welcoming spirit. So that anyone that comes in contact with you is going to automatically want to be your friend, be in your circle, be a part of who you are.
But I know it's the same with you, Mary. You really care about the artists that you represent. Like you know, and shoot, I want to be under your wing. I wouldn't trust anybody else.
Okay, that's all right. Listen, I'm gonna be your agent for that DJing career.
100%. What? I'm not looking anywhere else. I got blinders on.
Exactly. You know, loyalty is everything. People don't understand that.
Exactly.
Exactly. Well, you know, I've had fun talking with you. See, it was very easy, wasn't it?
I knew it would be. I mean, you know, you're the best, and
I appreciate you.
And I feel so blessed to have run into you in person, not once but twice. So, and when we saw each other the last podcast, I was just so happy to be around you. Let me ask you a question. I know this is not like normally the way it works.
No, it's okay.
Are you ever depressed ever?
I have been depressed in my life, but no, I'm not a depressed type of person. No.
Right. I mean, I think that, you know, how people say like real recognize real, like I've always been for my whole life, just a very optimistic person.
Yes.
I don't accept negativity in my life. I reject it.
Correct. Exactly.
Quite frankly, I don't know a ton of people like me. Most people are kind of like even. They're kind of like, sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're sad. And I get sad. We all get sad sometimes, right? But for me, it doesn't linger. It's just like, okay, gotta pull myself out of this. Boom, boom, boom.
Keep moving. Right.
Keep it moving. And I feel the same. I've always felt the same energy from you. And that's why I really appreciate you. Like if I need a pep talk, I got your number. I know who to go to. And vice versa.
Same here. I was gonna say same here. Because exactly that. Now, when I say I've been depressed, only through losses of people that were significant in my life. But not from everyday living, no. Because this too shall pass, right? So you can't let everyday life or things and traumatic, you can't let it swallow you. Hopefully you have that mindset that you try to get through it and understand that tomorrow's coming.
I try to tell people, no matter what you're going through right now at this moment, I know how it feels right now, or maybe I don't know because I've never been through it. But I guarantee you, one thing I know for sure is a year from now, you'll be all right. Yes,
you'll be a survivor of whatever it was. You've passed it and on to the next thing. That's life.
And surround yourself with good people. Don't surround.
Correct.
You cannot bring negative people into your life. There's nothing. There's nothing that's going to bring you down.
That's right. You got to be just like I was saying, how you go through those contracts with a laser eye. That's how you have to do with people that are around you as well, because you have to be careful about the team that you have around you, because people could be either pushing you to greatness or pulling you into darkness. So you have to decide on which way you want your team to pull you.
That's exactly right. I say this to my girl all the time. I say, so is that person additive or subtract?
Correct. That's great.
We break it down. Very simple.
So, that's a good talk right there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to bring you up here and have you speak to some people and be a mentor and do some live speaking engagements.
You want me to speak in front of people? I'm very shy, Mary. Yeah, I don't even know if I can do that.
I'll put a screen up. How about that?
No, I'm joking. You know, I'm totally down for it. I there's not a shy bone in my body. I know that. No problem. No problem. I love talking to youth. I'll talk to anybody. No problem.
Yeah, that's something that, we definitely need to get a itinerary going and have you out there speaking and passing all that passion that you have and knowledge to others, especially the youth, because they can see, hear your story, and especially you have so many stories in you that it'll be enjoyment.
Well, I'm happy to share, and I'm so happy and honored that you had me on your show, and how much I appreciate you. 100%, whenever you want. It
All
took too
right,
long for us to make this happen in the first place.
I know, right? We was going back and forth with it, getting everything in alignment. So is there anything that you want to say to your family, to your podcast family, because you're going to have them listen to you, and the new ones that are start listening to you?
So listen, first of all, I just want to express again, thank you to Mary for having me on her show, and please listen into more of her episodes if you haven't become a loyal listener already. She's amazeballs, and so are her guests. And I would also say, if you have a chance, check out my Fresh Mix podcast. We interview people that have a strong Florida connection doing amazing things. We've interviewed, I interviewed a kid. Okay, let me tell you something. I'll just give you one example. We interviewed someone. They're like ghost hunters. Okay. So they're ghost hunters. They're based in Florida. I interviewed this 17-year-old with like a photographic memory that can predict who's going to win every single sporting match like in the world. Okay.
Wow.
He's like won awards for this. I've interviewed, all the beauty pageant winners in Florida. I've interviewed I've interviewed a nudist. I've interviewed someone that's like an expert on manatees. Anything, just people in Florida just doing it. And at the top of my list, I interviewed Mary Kearney of the Boom in Your Face podcast.
There you go.
Who put the biggest smile on my face during that interview, and probably the biggest laughs. I try not to laugh too loud because it comes out so loud on the recording.
On the mic.
Yeah, but you messed me up in that interview. I was listening back to it the other day. I'm like, she made me laugh like a hyena.
Oh, that's awesome. So now you have it. And thank you for coming on my show and being so gracious. And I'm going to support you on anything you do. We're going to get together about that DJ equipment. I'm really serious about that. And then we're going to have you come out and DJ.
Sounds good. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing.
Have a wonderful, blessed day.
All right. Take care now.
Take care. Listeners, I want to thank you again for joining me for another episode of Boom in Your Face. Please remember to support the podcast on the website. As a reminder, if you'd like to share your Boom in Your Face music or share your Boom in Your Face moment, or just want to join in the conversation, reach out and email me at boominyourface616@gmail.com or visit the website and sign up for the newsletter and share your story. I'm your host, Mary Kearney. Be blessed.